Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining another episode of the HVAC Mergers and Acquisition podcast. On this podcast, we talk about how to prepare your HVAC company to get the best price and best terms when you sell your company, how to acquire other HVAC companies, and how to merge HVAC companies together. Today, we're going to talk about more of a communication topic when talking with investors and buyers. And that has to do with having a more collaborative approach when you're dealing with investors. A lot of times when selling your company, it's a new process, right? And it almost feels like an us versus them in negotiation. Now, when you sell your company, there will be a transitional period. So it makes sense to make the process much more collaborative up front. So you may get an offer for your business and you don't like it, right? You don't like the offer. And in some cases, you may feel insulted because you feel like your business is worth more than what you're offered for it, right? And so instead of getting emotional about it, right, and just saying I'm not going to talk to this person anymore, have a conversation with them, figure out why they positioned it that way, why they provided that offer, and provide feedback to them. Because a lot of times, if you provide feedback to the investor on what you would like, they can explain whether or not they can or cannot do that and why, right? And so there has to be a little bit of give and take on both sides, because if it's not a collaborative approach, you could end up wasting a lot of time, wasting a lot of your time, but also wasting a lot of the investors' times as well. So if you provide feedback to them, maybe there's one area of the offer that you just don't like. Instead of just stopping the conversation altogether and writing them off and saying, see you later, talk to them, have a conversation, because at the end of the day, selling your business is like selling anything, right? It's a conversation, it's a negotiation. And it may seem much bigger than that because we're talking about a business versus something else. But at the end of the day, it's providing value on both sides in communication, people working with people. So when you get to that point where you're talking with investors, try to make it a collaborative approach. Pull your chair to the other side of the table and really talk through it. And you never know, you might be able to come to an agreement that really makes sense for not only you, but makes sense for both parties involved, which is win-win for everyone, because you're going to need that kind of scenario after the acquisition, because you want to make sure that the transitional process goes smoothly, and the people you're working with, the relationship you've established with the people you're working with is on a solid foundation. And this is a great way to start that process. So hopefully you found that helpful, and stay tuned for future episodes.